So how? This is the important stuff. How do we do competitor research? Okay, tools we use. So what we're going to do is we're going to check our competitors first. That's going to really bug me, just so you all know. I will have to find out. I was typing away in here. Okay, so these are some of the tools we use. The Tag Assistant Legacy, you have that. We're going to use the Command or Control F function to find keywords on a page. We're going to use Dev Tools. We're going to right click and then find Inspect. I just gave you the Mongoose Chrome extension, which will tell us some on-page stuff. And then we have Ahrefs, which is our free backlink checker. So you want to check backlinks are still important in SEO. So we want to check what our competitors are doing. We want to check our own backlinks too, like who is linking to us. So what we're doing, we're studying our competitors, we're reverse engineering, and we're staying up to date, and we're going to realize that every search is different and every keyword is going to have its own road to success. And that's really important to know. So check this out. We can do all of this. This is just an overview of what you can check. You'll see things like Alexa Rank in the bottom. That's used less now, but you can check out that website. But we want to identify our competition first, and then we want to look at what they're doing, and we want to, check out and analyze their site, see what they're doing from their meta descriptions and their headers and their content, see their internal linking. Do they have image tags? How is their site structure? What's their code? We're not going to do all of these things because, as I said, you're going to pick your own way of measuring your competitors and what they're doing. So the first thing is to find your competitors and then pull some stats. See what we can do better, steal keyword ideas and strategies. I love looking at other people's websites and being like, oh, I should use that. I have a list of websites I really like, and just not the whole website, but like elements. We're looking for who's in first place with our research because that's who we want to see. So first thing we do, find our competitors. Second thing we do is check our digital assets. In the giveaway that I gave you for your competitor stuff, you can actually put all this information in. You're going to look at the keywords on the page. You're mainly going to be looking at people's .coms, right? Just the /, not the additional pages, although it depends on what comes up in the search engine results pages. You're also going to review their on-page SEO using the Chrome extensions and the dev tools, and we're also going to review the backlinks, right? Which free backlink checker is cool. You can pull additional stats if you're paying from Ahrefs or SEMrush. There's so many tools, and you can end up spending a lot of money. So free first, right? Because you don't want to break the bank. So what are we going to do? We're going to find our 3 to 10 top competitors. The first thing we do, and we usually should do it in an intake call, is find out who our clients think their competitors are. That's who we want to talk to first. So we want to grab that information, and then we want to check the search engine results pages, the SERPs, for the keyword. So we run a query. We can do it on just Google or Bing or other if we want. I mainly just use Google, but some people go further and use Bing and things like that. And we're looking for who's ranking in 1, 2, or 3 spots, and we're looking at what's showing up on the page, right? So comparing will help us figure out where we can improve. So every keyword has its own different set of competitors, super important to know. And running a check on the search engines, who's ranking, are they real competitors? We want to create a baseline, and we want to visit their site as a user and as an SEO user, right? So the SERPs, search engine results pages, I love them. They're the basis of everything, right? We want to know things like, are images showing up? Is Google ranking images or videos in the search engine results pages? Are there ads? Is it local SEO in the map section there, right? What's the intent of the page? We'll see really interesting intent when we look at shopping sites and how they're using their category pages. And because they're using their category pages for words like best chair. And if they give a comparison of all the best chairs, they're more likely to get sales and rank in the top of the search engine results pages. So we definitely want to think about search intent, and we remember there's informational, navigational, and transactional. Those are the main types of intent we're looking at, right? And by looking at the search engine results pages, they'll tell us a lot about what other people are doing. So we want to check organic traffic if we can. We're going to try to check the keywords targeting, the number of backlinks, and the web pages on a site. Now we're going to talk about search operators in a little bit. There's lots of them. They're fun. And if the first class we went through, I shared that free how to search on Google class. I'll reshare it today in Kajabi, but that's a really great class to help you get used to those search operators, which we're going to get into. So keywords, who ranks the highest? What should we consider? We want to consider volume. We want to consider competitiveness for each keyword. And we want to consider, are they using location targeting for their keywords? And then content is huge, right? So keywords, content. How often is the keyword mentioned? We're going to do that by using the dev tools, or that we're going to use for titles and headings. We're going to use Mongools, which is super fun. And then we're going to do some on-page analysis, right? These are things that matter, like their queries. How many keywords, also queries, are on the site? How are they doing things? Is it long form content? It'll tell us what we need to do to rank. So our on-page analysis is we're going to review the on-page components, look for opportunities and weaknesses, and use all those different tools. Things, you know these things. These are the things that are important to SEO, right? Keywords on the page, title, of course I spelled it tile. I'm glad Google spell checked that for me. Meta descriptions, headings, links. How attractive is the page? Do they have multimedia, images, video, lists, things like that, right? So we need to analyze the content. We know short sentences work best. We know headings break up content because people skim. We know great content is what matters. So all these things we want to look at when we're looking at competition, because if they're beating us, where can we improve and where do we want to focus first? So we know that titles are super important, especially our H1. We know that if we use SEO best practices, the keyword's always going to be in the front of the title and in the front of the meta, and that's how we can tell other people are doing SEO. Once you see it, you'll always see it. Meta description is super important, and we can see these in different ways using Chrome extensions or the dev tools. You can also find out, are they using WordPress or Squarespace or Shopify? We can find out a lot of information using the dev tools, which is pretty fun. We want to make sure our competitors' keyword stuffing. Remember, keyword stuffing is maybe having your keyword in there too many times. Do I need Vancouver 3 times in my meta descriptions? And is the meta descriptions, are they compelling? Do they want to make you click? We were looking, I think Rena and I were looking at a meta description yesterday in the Q&A, and I think it was HubSpot, and they had like their regular meta description, then they had in brackets free. You're like, what's free? I want it. So you definitely want to click. So you downloaded the Chrome extension, right? Mongools is going to tell you a lot about the on-page stuff that's going on. And then the command F will help us find the titles and meta descriptions if we want. Also, Screaming Frog will do this for you. You could run Screaming Frog audit for your own site or for your competitors. And that's really helpful. And that's one of the things we'll probably be doing in the audit, to see in the audits that we do a competitor analysis to tell our clients where they're doing better than their competitors and where they can improve. And so with headings, we know H1, H2, H3 are the ones you're going to use. H4, maybe use, not on the regular. And H5 and 6 are used for very technical content. There's no point to use them. I know a lot of us have used headings because they size things differently, but we don't want H2s above the H1s. And when we're reviewing our competitors, we'll probably see their keywords in their headings. That's an indication. So we're going to review each of these. We're going to look at landing pages. There's a lot of companies that use headings poorly, which is to our advantage. Google has come out and said that it's okay to use 2 H1 tags on a page. But if we really think about that, we definitely want to make it so the page has a focus. How it has a real focus and how it tells the search engines what's going on is through that main H1 tag or title tag, right? Now, you don't have to listen to me. I don't believe John Mueller. He is the guy that is the spokesperson for Google, or one of them. And so I don't always believe everything he says. That's just me. So then links. You remember links, we have backlinks, which are links from other sites that come to our site. We want to see other or competitions backlinks. As a company that does websites for people sometimes, we will have a link on the bottom of the site to our website. So that actually helps us as an SEO company or a marketing company when we build sites to make sure they link back to us. I know a lot of marketers who are like, well, if they change the site, I don't want them to link back to me. I don't know. I'd say get over that if you want to rank. Okay. Okay. With links, we're trying to get incoming links. How do we do that? Some SEOs will do a lot of outreach. We believe that writing really great content will bring people to the site. Black hat SEO. So I didn't know where to put this information, but it's really important that we really touch on this. Black hat SEO is bad. It's cheating and gaming the system. There is a black hat, well-known SEO guy called Chase Rayner. We do look at his stuff and what he's doing to tell us what not to do. He's actually closed down Google Business Profile and people getting new accounts because he had a system. But black hat SEO is techniques that aren't allowed by Google's or other search engines. They're used to boost rankings, so they ignore search intent. There are things like link farms, right? They go against the guidelines. So they can include things like hidden text. I'm sure you've seen it if you go to a website and they have white space and there's actually text, white text on it. That's bad. Misleading or representing words, cloaking pages, so hiding pages, hiding words, deceptive redirects, and doorway pages. Deceptive redirects are really interesting because in Google Business Profile, you can put links going other places, but I think that the post will get denied more often than not. So we talked about doorway pages last week. They're pages that aren't necessary to try to rank for different locations, right? Or they're unnecessary pages, and there's probably 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 on a website that all look identical but are just targeting different keywords. White hat SEO. This is what we practice. It's the opposite. Okay, we practice white and gray, if I'm really honest. White hat is you play by all the rules, you don't do anything wrong, you maintain the integrity of the website. Now, why do you practice white hat SEO? Because if you can rank a business in the top 3 spots and you're doing all the good practices, then when there's an algorithm update, you will not lose all your ranking, because there will be a time where Google sorts it out, and Google's job is to get us the best results and not have us get spammed. It's amazing what we don't see out there that's happening. So we want to stay within Google's guidelines and their terms of service. They give us a lot of guidelines and tools that if we follow, we do well. You've often heard content is king. Really good content is, I don't know, the future. Not king or queen, it's the future. White hat SEO is about speeding up the site, making it mobile friendly, following the guidelines of the things that are changing, easy navigation. When we talk about navigation, we'll put something called Clarity, which is free from Microsoft. Clarity on a site to see what's happening. It records a person's mouse. So we want to see if there's issues there. So there's a lot of free tools we can use. So gray hat, it's riskier, but okay. So gray hat, an example of gray hat is, you've seen it on your Google Business Profile. You have your business name, and then they've either put their keyword in there or put their location in their name. You're not supposed to do that. You're not allowed. Will it result in a ban? No. So black hat, you can get blacklisted. And if your site no longer shows up on Google, you might not have a business. So the big difference is that white hat is really good, black hat is bad, gray hat is like kind of messing with the system a smidge. We recommend to our clients, we can never force them to do things. We tell them the best practices. And if they choose not to do those, when it comes to like their Google Business Profile name and things like that, we let them make the final choice. It is their business. We just tell them the rules. You can lose a lot of traffic by doing black hats and even some nefarious gray hat stuff. But so the idea is just do white hat. They don't cause issues. So what we use to spy, now we've already gone over some of this, but there's some extra ones that you're going to hear about and you're going to end up knowing about. And some SEOs will do their keyword research based on things like search difficulty, right? Neil Patel's metric. Neil Patel is a big SEO dude. He's done really well. Same as Brian Dean, who is Backlinko. He just got bought by SEMrush. People also ask website, which is one of the ones we learned about in the search engine results classes. Yeah, it helps. So search difficulty score is a metric. The higher the difficulty, the higher it is to rank for that keyword. Then there's domain authority, and I think Ahrefs or SEMrush uses this. And a scale of 1 to 100, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Oh, it's by Moz. I know that SEMrush and Ahrefs have their own as well. So a good authority score is 40 to 50. I think on some, they change depending on where you're looking. So on one site I have 34 for my website, on another site I have 13. It can also depend on how old your website is. And so domain authority just means if you're doing your keyword research using domain authority, you're going to try to get keywords with high domain authority that you can actually in your niche, right? Longer tail stuff will work better. I do not use those metrics. They are not Google's metrics. So I find them maybe a little suspect. We focus mainly on Google's tools because they're more of a source of truth. And other SEOs do that. Search operators. These are gold. So once you learn some search operators, they will change the way you search for the rest of your life. There's some fun ones I'm going to touch on in here. And these are just ways you search on Google. So you could type in title, right? So literally when you go to Google and you're like, you want to find a keyword that's in the title. So you write in title, colon, and then whatever the keyword. So if you see the example about here, in title, local SEO. And so every site that has local SEO in the title will show up. And it helps you narrow your searches to see if I'm doing keyword research for the term local SEO, maybe I just want to see the companies that have it in, like what shows up, what are people trying to rank for? Are they blog posts? Are they pages? And then site. So I've been having some trouble with this one lately, but when you do a site search, you'll get all the results from a site. So you can actually see how many pages a domain will have. So there's no space, but you do site and then the website. And that should bring up all the pages so you can see how many pages Google's indexing. You can add site operators together so you can do keywords and site, right? So if you look at this example here, e.g. SEO, and then site, see more digital media, should bring up everything I have on SEO, right? So it'd be sitedomain.com, put the keyword in, and then do the sitedomain.com. So you can find the pages indexed. It is really fun. File type is my favorite. If you want to take a deeper look, for an example, I follow Amy Porterfield, or I used to. She gives away a lot of giveaways. If I went to Amy Porterfield's site and I did site, Amy Porterfield, and then I did file type PDF, I'd get all her PDFs that are on her website and I'd be able to look through those. So I use this tool to grow my business. What are other people offering? Is there a service page with prices I can find, or a proposal, or anything like that? So you take your competitors and you look. Sometimes you don't find anything, and sometimes you do. And then in URL. So we're looking for keywords within our URL. So you type in URL colon and you get your keyword and you'll find all the sites using that URL. Now we know that if the keyword is in the URL, they're probably trying to rank for that keyword, right? Okay, so then we're going to look at a little bit of code using the dev tools. This is the first way I learned to look up people's stuff. We're going to see the innards of the site's code. We can see images, fonts, formats, JavaScript code, all the stuff you don't want to see, but we can do Command F and we can find the meta and the title and is it WordPress? So we're going to look at it. It's the inspect element and I'll show you how to do that. And these things are quite fun. Then you use Control or Command F. We can look for the word WordPress or meta or title, and it's an easy way to get a like really good snapshot if you're not using like Mongoose or something like that. If you're doing YouTube stuff, you should probably have TubeBuddy, and SEO Quake is a free plugin that gives you free metrics. We don't use it much anymore, but I wanted to mention it. Other extensions, it's the Mongoose. That's the best one, right? There's so many to play with and play around with. Last week, we talked about how we got Google Business Profile, Google My Business everywhere, and that's our newest tool that we love. So some sites to know, and these are good. So Ubersuggest, we talked about Neil Patel. It's okay. We sometimes use it. BuzzSumo will help you see social, like what social stuff is ranking. Google Alerts, we talked about that in our first class. We can set up Google Alerts for competitors. You can type in who is into Google and you can find out a lot of information. As an agency, we have worked with businesses who don't own their domains, and we have to go and find who owns the domain. Where do we find it? What's going on? And who is a great way to look up where we can find that information. And then the Wayback Machine. Now, the Wayback Machine is great. If your site goes down, you lose all your content, you can probably go in there and find an old version of your site. You can see other people's sites over time and how they've changed, which is quite interesting. So these are tools that we can look at, and they're always fun. They're going to be in your spreadsheet in the tools section. So BuzzSumo, just to dig a little deeper, there's a freemium model. As I said, we're always doing the free first. So I'll check it out. Use it sparingly if you don't want to pay for it. So it'll just help you do some research and monitoring about what content's really being shared on social media channels. It shows you the influence, and it can give you content ideas, uncover platform insights, and identify influencers. Ubersuggest, this is a keyword finding tool. It's okay. It gives you volume and competition, which is the only reason I'm really interested in it. It will probably become more important over time. Neil Patel is not going anywhere, and he does have some good insights. And then Google Alerts, which I'm a huge fan of. If you haven't set one up, all you do, remember, is you go over to Google and type in Google Alerts, and you'll get this URL that comes up. And then just create alert for your name, your business name, your competitor's name, and we can play around with that again too if you'd like. And then who is? This is the domain, like who's registered to. Phelan knows more kind of about this. He's had to dig into this more because you will come across people that don't have access to their domain, don't own their domain. There's lots of different things that are going to come up. And so these tools in your toolbox are a huge help. Of course, we're always here to help you no matter what. So if you run into some serious problems with figuring out domain stuff, reach out to us because Phelan, as I volunteer him, will help. The Wayback Time Machine is honestly super great. It's a nonprofit organization in San Francisco. It's been going on for years, and a major SEO guy just died recently, and he did a lot of patent research. And so they're actually going in and making sure that all his stuff is being archived so that we can visit it at any time. So that's pretty cool. And you just go to archive.org/web. But you can just type in Wayback Time Machine and go see. You can see, we can go look at what my first site looked like. Wasn't very good. Sitemaps. Okay, this one, you've done this. We've all submitted a sitemap. But what if you could go to Google and put in your competitor's sitemap? Wouldn't that be good? Then you can learn some stuff there. So that's a great way to go and see what's going on with them, because we can't really see their Search Console information. So we can at least see their sitemap information. And I just wanted to make a quick mention about domain and page. So the difference between a domain and a page. So we know a domain is our www or whatever. It's our URL, right? Our domain includes a number of different pages. It includes videos, tutorials, pictures. The actual pages when you go are under the domain, right? So the domain, the .com, is always going to get most of the traffic for a site. So I just wanted to make that distinction. You'll get more used to that over time. Quick recap before we go have some fun. Okay, we did what is a competitive analysis and why do we do it? We talked about how we reverse engineer. We talked about what metrics we should be tracking. And we talked about our spying tools. Your homework, just to have fun, is to play with the template and make it your own. Remember, templates are adjustable to your business and how you want to run things. I'm going to get you to get the Legacy Chrome extension, and I want you to look at one of your competitors' digital assets.